Welcome back, folks. This is another red shirt again. I've continued playing with my video and recording settings in an attempt to eliminate all the lag spikes and glitchings of the boat, and I think I might have gotten it figured out. So let's go ahead and give it a try. We're going to go back to Skytree again, this time at night. And it looks like I may have gotten it figured out. Here we are entering Skytree again, this time at night. You can see the rather idyllic, picturesque scene that would be greeting the visitor when they arrive. It seems the boat is behaving itself. Mostly. Like I mentioned in the last video, like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing, and going through with each successive video, I'm experimenting with the settings in order to try to get the... Hey, where are you going? Well, that's not the first time that's happened. Anyway, like I said, I'm experimenting with the video settings in an attempt to find the right balance between encoding rate and screen resolution. Right now I'm recording at a rate of 5,000 kilobits per second, and I'm recording in 720p, and I still have my resolution, or rather not the resolution, but the render distance all the way up to the maximum 32 chunks that vanilla Minecraft allows. Right now we're leaving Skytree and heading back to Underhill. Here we have the welcome sign for Skytree Forest, and here is what I decided to call 0 point. This is based on the coordinate system XYZ. This point right here, closest to the reader of the sign, this is X0Z0. And I'm thinking about maybe doing something here, building a monument or some sort of building here to denote the center of the world. Seems there it is, the main spire of Underhill's watchtower. Just now rendered in. Maybe I do have my render distance drawn back. I don't quite recall, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Well, let's continue. Today we're going to go visit Weathertop. Weathertop, as you know, is an old, even in the time of the Third Age of the Lord of the Rings, it was an old, I do believe, Númenórean outpost. And during my exploration of this world, the first time I set foot on the mountain, it was during a thunderstorm, and slightly flat on top. So I decided to borrow the name Weathertop from the Lord of the Rings series as a location name. Now, in keeping with the theme of it being... Uh-oh, let's deal with these guys. Oh wow. Party time out here in the desert. Alright, that's sorted. In keeping with the theme of it being suggested by the Lord of the Rings series, I decided to build a Númenórean white tree. Uh-oh. Yikes. Thought I killed him. Oh well, guess not. I decided to build a white tree out of birch. Now I do know that there are some mods that introduce giant trees into Minecraft, but as I mentioned before, I'm a bit wary to install them on my core world system. So I had to build it manually with dirt scaffolding and whatnot. Now from here I do believe you can see the Skytree region over there in that direction. Unfortunately, upon revisiting this place a short while ago, I took one look at the white tree and realized that, quite frankly, it's a bit rubbish. I built another one in Atlantis, and it is a much nicer looking tree. And we will visit that some other time. Yeah, you can see there the white Númenórean tree. It's alright. Here at Weathertop is also the first time that I sort of engaged in terraforming. Initially, this causeway here was actually supported by stone, and in order to make this a somewhat more defensible structure, I carved out the stone so that it would, on this hilltop here, would stand alone. Here we have the Great Hall, entrance hall into Weathertop Keep. It's the first of the many outposts that I built. This is my first excursion beyond my home. There you can see in the distance the Underhill Watchtower. Crafting and cooking area. It's the the first location that has a nether chest, or not nether chest, a ender chest in the crafting and building section proper. Here we have the master bedroom suite. The beds looking to the west, which seems to be a theme that's carried on into several other locations, including Atlantis. Balcony overlooking the jungles to the east. And there you can see Underhill to the right, the desert road, and the eastern frontier, which largely at present is, for the most part, undeveloped. Down below, to the left, there's a dock system, and here we have the village of what I've named Longreach. In the distance over here is the continuation of the canal system that I've mentioned previously. Docks over here for Longreach, accessible via water here. Go through the door. There we go. Here we are on what is, I do believe, called the main battlement atop the castle. I had in mind when I constructed this place as it being a defensible location and somewhat of a fallback point for the residents of Riverton and Underhill to retreat to should the region come under siege, much like in Lord of the Rings. You see here the evolution of my design aesthetic. Here I have a 2x2 central core on the spire and a double wide staircase. It's a bit easier to navigate. Certainly, I would hope, much less vertigo-inducing. When we reach the top, we can see how far we can see. Yes. Not bad. We can see Skytree to the right. There's the Riverton Gateway Bridge, Underhill. Eastern Frontier. That strange bit of cobblestone there is, I guess, a mob grinder of sorts that I built around a zombie dungeon that I found. And up here we have a bit of a crow's nest upper lookout point. You can see that it is actually significantly taller than the Underhill watchtower. As I mentioned, I had intended for this to be a fallback point, a stronghold of sorts, much like the fortress of Helm's Deep that the people of Rohan would fall back to in times of war. We'll go back down and take a look at the inside of the keep. This fortress was built over a period of time, not all at once. Started out with the main central tower at first. It is a sort of a mark of, I guess you could say, my design aesthetic. I like building towers from which I can see the surrounding countryside. Here we're back in the main Great Hall. Down below, more outlook points and balconies. Having been built over a period of time, the layout is a bit of a bodge job, to be honest. Having different ideas and different thoughts on what I wanted it to look like with each successive return visit. Yet another outlook point, battlement. This central staircase and spire does connect to all of the levels of the castle. Down below are the mines, which are mostly unused. The mines underneath Underhill are pretty much, for the most part, everything I needed. And here we have the boat slip for Weathertop. And let's go ahead and give the boats a try again. Seems to be behaving itself mostly. It would seem that the glitching and lagging I was experiencing with the boats seems to have been largely caused by the... looks like it's back. Seems to have been caused largely by the recording rates which I was that I had chosen. and not the render distance. There we go. Interesting. And here we have the testificate village of Longreach. Just like any garden variety village, except that I've made some improvements for the citizens. Made it much easier for their citizens to navigate, including connecting oddly spawned dwellings, allowing them to enter and exit their homes much easier. Here we have a series of houses that I built for them in order to potentially bolster their population, which seems to have had quite a beneficial effect for them. Large public house for the testificate citizens of this village of Longreach. Now, I don't know how complex the AI of villagers is at present. However, it would seem that there is something in the code that gives the villagers some form of appreciation to the player, if the player is good to the villagers. I don't recall if it was this village here, or if it was another one of the many villages that I've explored and made renovative upgrades to, but a creeper snuck up on me and blew me and one of their farms up, and feeling guilty about that, I set to repairing the damage that was done. And when I had finished, a villager had walked up and looked at me. And when he looked at me, I bobbed my viewpoint in a nod, much like this. And the villager looked at me and did the same, as though he was nodding his head in appreciation, and then wandered off. Accident? I don't know, but maybe there's something to it. Here we have the Underhill Trading Company, Longreach branch. When villager trading was introduced, I started making trading outposts for things like books and glass and wool, and depending on the region in which that I would grow or harvest or fabricate these items, all of them had an ender chest in which I would drop those supplies and then travel around to various villages and trade with the villagers, building up a bit of a cache in the form of emeralds. Well, I do believe that is all for the day today, folks. Thank you for joining me. Down below, you know what to do. Rate, comment, subscribe, like, dislike. All comments welcome. Let me know what you think. Currently using OBS to record this, so if you guys have any hints, tips, suggestions, or even jokes or smart remarks about that, be sure to leave them below in the comments. Let me know if there's any other tricks I should know about or recommended settings to better streamline and optimize recording. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.